hold the line. That allows Tracy to pick up the puck and finds a streaking Pfizer down the right wing. He'll quickly take it around the net, centering pass, they score! It's Gannon Laroque on the stick side, his first in the Western Hockey League, and the Royals double their lead. It's 2-0 with 6:16 to go.
What's up, you beauties? I'm Jim, and welcome to a special episode of HW Prospect Show. We have a treat of a guest for you all today, but first, make sure to subscribe, listen, and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, and YouTube. Please be sure to check out our affiliate sites, fullpresscoverage.com and bellyupsports.com. Belly Up Sports, they do what the others don't. And while you're listening, check out hwhockey.net. We're working hard over there for you guys, so hopefully you're enjoying the content. Let's get to our guest. I don't want to keep him waiting any longer. Defenseman of the Year for the Victoria Royals, NHL Draft prospect, and potential Philadelphia Flyers draftee, Gannon Laroque. Gannon, thanks for taking the time, my friend. You're just a day or two away from being drafted by an NHL club. How are you feeling?
Yeah, obviously really excited. Kind of got the nerves going a little bit, and just getting really excited for the weekend. So,
dude, I can't imagine. I mean, this is what you've been playing for your whole life, right? I mean, dude, the next step is right around the corner. I don't know how you're going to sleep tonight. I don't know if you're a nervous guy or not, but I wouldn't be sleeping all week. You're going to be an NHL player soon, man. That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We'll see how the sleeping goes, but I'm just really looking forward to it. So
awesome. So a couple questions for you here, buddy. And if any of our viewers have any questions for Gannon here, please feel free to comment and chime in. So Gannon, you're described as a dark horse in the draft, that you somewhat have come out of nowhere, apparently. And I find this hard to believe after watching some of your highlight reel. But you were left off draft boards until this season, and it looks like you'll be taken this weekend. What can you talk about? What kind of changed for you over the last year and a half?
I just think I played my second year midget at the program NAX in Edmonton, Alberta, and I just I went undrafted in the WHL Bantam draft, and it clicked for me, and I just used that motivation, and I just wanted to show everybody what I'm capable of. And just being a dark horse, I love being the underdog. I love being that kind of person to show everybody what I am and what I'm about. So I try to use my assets in the game as best as I can, and go from there. So
outstanding, Gannon. So Philadelphia, obviously, there's a movie, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Rocky, about an underdog. And, obviously everybody's still, in love with the character, and you would think he's real the way Philadelphia loves this guy. But, we love an underdog in this city. What is it about the underdog role that really gets you going? What is it about it?
I just think that people might not pay attention to you as much, and you're just coming out of nowhere, and they're like, wow, we need to watch this kind of guy. And I just kind of love that, seeing that maybe people aren't watching me as much. And I just kind of use that as motivation. It's kind of how I live by, is just kind of using everything as motivation to show everybody that I'm one of the best that I can be, and try and do everything possible. So
good for you, brother. Good for you. Using it to your advantage. I love it. So I've also been told that you play with a mean style, with punishing hits and a boom of a shot, something that we love in Philadelphia. I don't know if you've heard or not. Who did you model your game after growing up? Was it a certain player? Did you have a certain number of players that you enjoyed watching that you kind of modeled yourself after?
There's kind of three NHL defensemen that I kind of use. One is Shea Weber, just because he's big body and he's very physical and has obviously that really wicked slap shot. And then I use Drew Doughty just because of his hockey sense and his hockey IQ. I just think it's unbelievable, and being able to find those passing lanes. And Roman Josi obviously is another one for me, just because he's wearing the C on his chest, really big leader. And I think he's a big transitional D-man. I think that's really important in today's game. Sorry.
Outstanding, man. Those are three monster names, three of the best defensemen in the league. I would say, three pretty good guys to look up to and model your game after. Shea Weber was always one of my favorite players personally. Love his style of play, the big physical style. And then at one point, didn't he have the hardest slap shot in the NHL?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Absolute monster. I mean, you watched him in the playoffs, brought Montreal all the way to the Stanley Cup. Roman Josi, didn't he win a Norris a couple years ago? Drew Doughty. You couldn't pick better players to model your game after. So that's great stuff there, man. Let's move on to our next thing here. So I talked to Ryan Sinclair of PNW Hockey Talk, who's written some really nice articles about you. I'm sure you've seen them. He mentioned you rep the Underdog really well. We talked about this a little bit. You enjoy flying under the radar and surprising people. Love that about you. You're also described as competitive, tenacious, and hardworking. I love that description, by the way, tenacious and hardworking. A player who already processes the game at a high level despite your age. What makes you so competitive? Because not everybody that plays has the same competitive drive, and you could be the most skilled player in the league, but if you're not hardworking, you can only get so far. So what is it about yourself that makes you so competitive? Where does that come from?
I think it's just a mindset that I've kind of made a base for myself. I really got into watching Kobe Bryant videos and how he's been able to be like that Mamba mentality and trying to better himself. And there's a bunch of stories how he's always in the gym more, and it's just doing all those extra reps in the gym and just like learning from your coaches, other teammates, and looking up to people. I just think it's kind of the mindset that I've set for myself to better myself every day. So
outstanding. Good for you, man. And so just from talking to you now, everybody watching, this kid's 17 years old. I feel like I'm talking to a grown man already, very mature beyond your years. You could just get the sense. So great stuff from you there, Gannon. Real quick, I want to ask you about your upcoming season with Victoria. Defenseman of the Year, by the way. Congratulations on that. What are your own expectations? Because I've already read about what the team's expecting from you next year. But what are you expecting from yourself heading into next season at Victoria?
I think to just kind of build off of what I've already done, just kind of in our bubble season this year. I think to continue to better myself every day. That's kind of how I live by, obviously, and just trying to learn from my teammates. Obviously, I'm 1 year older, but I'm always looking to get better, and just trying to help my team out in the best way I can.
Awesome. So one question I always like to ask any player that we've gotten on our show, I like to ask, what's it feel like to score your first goal in, your first big league? So obviously this year was your first year in the WHL, correct?
Yeah.
And, you got a goal. What was that like to finally get it? I think we saw it before the show started. What did that feel like for you?
Just literally amazing. I can't even explain it. I was literally so happy. My heart was racing. I didn't even know how to celebrate. I just kind of threw it in the air. So, it's memorable, and I will never forget it. So,
did you black out at all? Because that's something I always hear a lot too. Like, I don't really remember what happened the play before. I don't remember what I did after. I just saw black.
There was lots of rookies on our team, and quite a few of them actually blacked out, but I actually kind of remember it pretty well. So I'm actually really happy that I remember it very well. So
good for you. That's awesome stuff. So hopefully we see a couple more of them from you next season with Victoria. And I know I asked you before the show. I still have the question here without naming names. Weirdest draft question you've ever been asked? You told me that things have kind of been more mild with you. Like there's not really anything that stands out. Can you kind of talk about the whole process a little bit for our viewers who are listening who may not know, like kind of, what you have to go through?
They're just trying to get to know you and just kind of see your character. Obviously, they've watched me throughout the year, so they kind of know how I play and they know my game, and just trying to get to know me on a different side of things. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. So they already kind of know you as a player. They see you play, and they want to kind of get to know the person a little bit.
100%.
All right, cool. So last question here, and it's about the Philadelphia Flyers. When you think of the Philadelphia Flyers, what do you think about? What pops into your mind first?
I just see a bunch of leadership and like with Claude Giroux, and I just see like a bunch of great players on their team, and I know they have quite the decor there, and obviously, if I do get drafted to them, I'd be really excited to learn from all of them.
Awesome. Favorite player growing up? I know I kind of asked you who you modeled your game after, but I feel like, is that a different question or is it kind of the same answer?
I'd say it was the same answer. I've kind of stick with them like kind of my whole life.
Okay. And what got you into hockey? I know you're a Canadian boy, so it's kind of in your blood, but what pushed you to play hockey at a young age?
It was actually my mom's family friend. Sorry. I had an older kind of friend, and I just kind of grew up watching him, and I slowly just kind of gotten into it, and now it's taken me to almost being at the NHL draft, and I couldn't thank them enough for getting me into the game of hockey. So,
all right, obviously it paid off, man. You're on the verge, just a day or two away from hearing your name called. If you had to pick one team, and it's okay to say who, if you had your choice, where would you want to play?
I do not have a certain team.
I put you on the spot, man.
Yeah, I don't have a certain team that I go to. Obviously, I know that if a team's going to pick me, I know that they're going to want me. And I think that would be the best option, is to see whoever chooses me. And I know that's going to be the best option for me.
Dude, I have 100% confidence that wherever you go, you're going to have an outstanding career again. And that's going to bring us to the end of this little episode here. I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank your agent, Andy, from Link Management, for setting this up. It's been an awesome experience for myself. Hopefully it was the same for you.
Awesome. Yeah, it was great. Thank you for having me on. Anytime,
brother. And hey, I wish you all the success in the world. Don't forget about us when you're famous and you get that big contract. Remember HW. I'm kidding with you, dude. But let's definitely get together again soon. I would like to hear how the experience was for you after the draft and whatnot. Wish you all the success in the world, Gannon, and hopefully we can talk soon.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, you beauties. That's going to do it for the HW Prospect Show, and we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of In Case You Missed It.